everyone? Welcome back to the podcast experience where you can't change the world until you change your community. I'm Adrian.
Johnny.
And today's guest we have Miss Bonita Waters. She's just going to fill us in on motherhood, because that's an important part of your community. Nowadays, well, for the longest of time, most men have been raised by their mothers. So it's good to get a point of view from an actual mother, So how you doing today, Bonita?
I'm doing well. How are you? Thank you all for having me.
Thanks
Awesome.
for coming.
Awesome. Yeah. So we're just gonna jump right into it. The first thing is, how is it raising? Because you have two sons, right?
Right. I have two young men now.
Right.
Two sons. They are 25 and 29.
29 and 25.
Yeah.
You got grown men.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. So your question to me was, how was it raising
men? Yeah.
It was really, really difficult. First of all, I did not start off as a single parent.
Right.
So I had to adjust to being a single parent, and not just a single parent, but a single parent of boys.
That's right.
I was raised, I have 4 sisters, so I don't have any brothers. So It was really hard because I'm not a man.
Right.
So I don't know what men go through.
Yes,
I see it, but I'm not a man, so I don't physically go through the same things that you all go through.
Right.
So it's really difficult. I had them really active, stayed busy. They did baseball, basketball. They were in Kappa League, karate. They was really, really busy. And then they start, and like band.
Right.
That's what really kept them busy. And they, stayed out of trouble. They're not perfect now. They did some stuff, but it was difficult. But like I said, I had like Kappa League. They taught them how to tie a tie.
Yes.
And how to speak in public and, different things like that. So I didn't do it by myself. So it was hard.
I got you. Yeah.
It was hard.
Johnny H?
Well, with that, being some of the things that, what are some of your concerns as far as, things that's going on in America with black men, especially, having, like, you have 2 black young men that you raised. I know I got one he's almost grown. He's getting there. He's 19, but, I have concerns out there in the world about, him going out there and what he might encounter. So what are some of your concerns about that?
My concerns are the lack of male figures. And there's not a blueprint for them. So I think society expects them to be a certain way when there's nobody there to teach them.
Yes.
Wow.
To be, to how to be a man when you never had a blueprint of what a man looks like. I couldn't be a woman if I didn't have conduct myself like a lady if I never had a blueprint. And not just the blueprint, but you got to be open and willing to learn.
Right.
Because you can have a blueprint but not accept it.
That's true.
And not follow it. So my concerns are, like I said, the lack of male figures in their lives.
Okay.
The lack of self-respect, or being taught to respect yourself and to respect others and to love yourself.
That's right.
No doubt.
Love yourself and be able to love and accept yourself. And if you love and accept yourself, it doesn't matter what anybody else say about you.
That's important. You see that so many times nowadays. Self-love, self-care.
Exactly.
It's important to get your mental together.
Exactly.
Your mental state, especially as a black man.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
In America, because you have so much turmoil, and I'm just speaking from experience. Sometimes you have other races against you,
Right.
your own race against you, the women sometime against you. If you're trying to do like co-parenting and stuff like that.
Right.
So and then a lot of our black males are stereotyped, and a lot of them are behind bars and stuff like that. Some for crimes that they committed, some for crimes that they didn't commit and stuff like that. But it's always kind of been like a target on black males in America since we arrived here. Things are getting better. We've had some opportunities to get better, but like you said, not only self-care, but loving each other.
Right.
Loving who you are and learn how to address another black male when you see him.
Right.
That's an amazing thing.
Right, and not just black men, but to respect black women as well.
Yes.
Exactly.
Because I don't think somebody brought to my attention as far as like how women dress today. Some women dress today, and why do they get upset when men say inappropriate things to them.
That's true.
And I just said, yeah, they do have the right to wear what they want to wear, but you have to think about, are there women in the house teaching them the appropriate attire to wear?
Yes.
And then are there men in these young men's lives to teach them that's not how you talk to a woman?
Right.
So it's accountability on both parts, both male and females.
It is, and like John Henry said, I'm raising a 16-year-old son. He's a great kid, you know. Thank God for that, because he could have been, you know, one of those troublemakers. But I've seen so many times. But that's why, as a father, you know, I'm able to be in his life and teach him how to be a young black man. You know, love himself. But so many times I know so many single mothers who they want the best for their child, but it doesn't always go that way, and the child ends up with some type of resentment, or you know, kind of straying off to a path that, you know, that'll lead you down the wrong path, pretty much.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm gonna say, like, for me and my boys, I chose to apologize to my children, because I taught my kids how to mask what they feel. And a lot of times we teach boys, don't cry.
Yeah,
Don't cry.
Yes.
Men don't cry. Boys don't cry. You all right, suck it up. But no, for your mental state, you cannot suck it up.
You have to.
So I apologize to my children, because I taught them how to live a life. When people say, how you doing? You say, fine, when you know you're really not.
Right.
So I had to apologize, tell the truth, I'm sorry. Because I taught them how to put on face for the public, go outside with them, going in this house, stay in this house. You better not say nothing about going on in this house.
Right.
That's how everybody was raised, but that's not healthy mentally for kids.
Right.
To tell them that. But like I said, I apologize to them for teaching them how to live a life, deal with your feelings. If you're not having a good day today, if somebody say, how you doing? Well, you know, today I'm struggling with this today. But tell the truth, because we all struggle.
We do.
Male, female, red, yellow, black, or white. We all struggle with issues, and with today's society, with the pandemic, I know everybody knows somebody who's passed away.
Yes.
You know, from COVID. So you're dealing with that. You're dealing with the gun violence, you're dealing with police brutality, you're dealing with racism, you're just dealing with a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So I just think it's okay to be transparent and admit the truth. I ain't doing good today.
Yeah,
Or today I'm really good.
That's true. You know, with the and you said about that, about, you know, not masking. I'm a 70s baby. So I was raised, my dad, he was 1919 he was born. So he had that kind of, you know, mentality of, you're a man. Boys don't cry. That's the way it is. You suck it up, like you were just saying. So, you know, if this is the person that's teaching you, of course, when you get to the point of where you're looking at your children, you know, you think, okay, it worked for me, it worked for them. But at some point, I had to recognize, you know, that that's my dad's way. And as time goes, everything that he might have said, it has its value, but it don't necessarily apply the same way. Back then, they had to be to a certain amount of toughness because of what they were dealing with.
Absolutely.
But now, you know, and with everything coming out, you got all these Olympians and other folks coming out, you know, saying about their mental state and how they're feeling, because, you know, you need to get that out. If you want to cry, you a man, there's nothing wrong with going there and crying. You know, there's nothing wrong with expressing yourself. You know, and yeah, at first I was implementing that at first, and then it took my wife to really give me that shake up, like, come on, get it together now. No. So I had to go back to similar to what you did, and hey, let me clean this up for you. What I really was meaning to say, and explain to him that no, if you sad, cry. If whatever's wrong with you, let it out, because you hold it in here, and then it holds in your heart, and later on, whenever you do release it, if you ever do release it, you know, you're going through a world of pain. You're going through stuff for years ago. So yeah, I'm very well in, you know, about the mental health thing. And for any black man, black woman, if you got it on your mind, it's on your heart, and just let it out. Talk to somebody. Get it out. It's better out than in.
Right, I agree, because dis-ease causes disease.
Yes.
You know, so you got to get that out.
Since we was on to talk about mental health and motherhood, like John here and I, we share a bond. For one, both our mothers are gone, right? Well, not gone, but absent from the body, you know. So as a black man, you're supposed to be able to pick up and just go back to work and stuff like that when you really don't have time to deal with it. You know, I know John Henry had his mom with him, you know, in her final stages. my mother's death was a little sudden, and people they don't realize, you know, or don't think that, you know, give you the space. Like with me, I saw my mom pass away, actually take her last breath. So, you know, that type of stuff plays with your psyche and your mental, but just taught as a black man, you gotta be strong, you gotta push through, you know. But like y'all said, you know, those who watching, I encourage you, take time out, you know, if you're going through something like that, take time out, and, you know, it's okay to break down and cry and stuff like that. Get whatever you need to out of your system and stuff like that, you know. So it's no shame and getting that type of stuff out.
Exactly. Tears, that's a part of your emotions.
Right.
That's how you cleanse. That's how you release. And that was your mom.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm blessed to still have, my mom is 82, she'll be 83, she lived to see September 15th.
That's good.
So I'm blessed to still have my mom. I lost my dad, you know, and even losing him, I had my dad for 84 years.
Oh, wow.
And I remember years ago, before he passed, he was sick, and they told us, you know, make funeral arrangements for my dad. And I got in the shower and started crying. When I got out the shower, Josh said, "Mom, why are you crying?" He said, "I had my daddy for 7 years.
Right.
You had your daddy for 50 years." And when he told me that, it made me just suck up them tears, because you only had 7 years with your dad. I had a whole bunch of years with mine. So it made me look at it. Yeah, I miss my dad, but I'll see it from a different perspective.
That's right. You know, and that's with me, you know, same with John here. His dad's gone, my dad's gone, so, you know, I wouldn't say that we're parentless, but, you know, like I said, absent from the body.
Exactly.
But I had my dad for 9 years and stuff like that, so it was a little different because I had my mom 30-some years, but like my god brother told me, you know, with your mom, that's your first best friend.
Right.
It's a different bond.
Yeah, it's a different bond. You're connected to your mother, you know, for 9 months, however many months it takes, you know, to give birth. And then after that, that's the first person that you just see and with all the time, you know. So that's a different type of bond. But motherhood is very important, you know, for those who still have your mother.
Right.
Whatever you're going through, put it aside if you can. Call your mom, hug your mom, love on your mom, because you just never know when it'll be the last time.
No, that's true.
You know.
That is true.
Yeah. Johnny H.
Yeah, I would just say that there's still on the mother and father, the different bonds in between the two. Like, I was with my dad. My dad passed when I was 27. So, and actually, I didn't even think he was old as he was when he passed, because in my mind, he never aged. He was like 76 years old. And I was actually, when I was born, he was like 49 years old. So, I mean, I was blessed to have that time, but it's a different bond between my mother and my father. Yeah, I love my dad to death, and he taught me all these great things that I get to share, and you know, his love and his wisdom and all that, but mama is totally different. I mean, I can't explain mama. Mama is different, you know. I love my mama no more than I love my dad, but it's just, I can't explain that bond. It's a different bond.
Right.
So it's kind of crazy how that is, but you know.
Well, if you could make a difference, what would you change, you know, to kind of make it better? I mean, like a better mother or whatnot?
What would I change to be a better mother? I would have early on allowed my children to choose their own path.
Right. Oh. Wow.
Meaning, like my oldest son, that was the trial and error. When you, because you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
You know, my firstborn, I would say go left, he would go right. He'd go right, he would go left. And I was just really nervous with him. But with my youngest son, it's like, okay,
You've already done it once.
I'm tired. He don't want me out.
Right.
So let me try this with you. You know, so I just had to pray and realize, like, I wanted my children to go to college. I wanted them to get a degree, get a job, play it safe. You know, I was an entrepreneur, self-employed for like 19 years. So, but after, you know, my husband passed and things changed for me financially, I needed to get a job because I needed benefits, I needed retirement, my children needed medical insurance and all this kind of stuff. But I had to realize that my children may not be what I want them to be, but they were destined to be who God created them to be, which is something totally different. What I wanted for them was college, this and this and this. But God created them to be musicians, to be a singer. He gave all of us gifts. My children are choosing to use the gifts that God gave them, as opposed to going to college and going, you know, doing a 9 to 5, 8 to 5, whatever you know, you do.
Right.
But I'm thankful that I had to wake up and realize that. So if I had to change anything, I would have started from when they were young.
Mm-hmm.
You know, little, like, what is it that you want to do when you grow up? What you
Absolutely.
want to be?
Yeah.
Okay, how can I help you and nurture them towards that path that they were created to be?
Mm-hmm.
Because as a child, you already know. You can see some people, like I can say my oldest son, Jeremy has been beating on stuff since he was 2 or 3.
Okay.
So if I can say somebody was born to do that,
He was born to do
that.
Right.
He was born to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would
And he's still doing it.
Yes.
Yeah, and great at it too.
Yes, very good at it.
He is.
Yeah, he's great at it. But that I do the same thing with my son. I just ask him now, you know, I wanted him to play basketball because that was my dream,
Yeah.
you know. Sometimes parents try to live their dreams through their children.
Exactly.
You know, so I had to realize that that's not the way. Like, what do you want to do?
Right.
You know, what makes you happy? But I do try to encourage him not to get a 9 to 5, because simple fact you get too caught up in that, and then you have to take orders from people, or you land on a crappy job that, you know, just might not be suitable for you. You have to work in terrible conditions.
Right.
So I just try to encourage him, use your brain and put forth that effort to make your own type of finances and stuff like that. And I tell them, leave the kids where they at.
Well, I love my grandson, so
and he's very energetic as well too.
Yes,
so,
he is.
Yeah, Josiah is a handful. But yeah, I try to encourage my son, you know, pick up something that you like to do, you know, and I get behind him on that.
Right.
You know, I'm blessed to only have just one child where I can put all my energy into. But yeah, but he's a good kid though. He's great.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And then that thing that you were called to do, it don't feel like a job.
That's
it.
true.
Uh-huh.
That is
You
true.
know, the Bible says work while it's day. What you were born to do is your work.
Mhm.
Now your job might finance you a little while until you can do your work full time.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Similar to the same way, parenting. Well, my son is my stepson. I have no biological children. I have 2 stepdaughters and a stepson. I hate the word step. I
Right.
really do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's why I'm wearing the bonus dad shirt.
Right.
My oldest girl, thank you. But you know, and they're my world. You know, and for the girls, yeah, and it's like you were saying, how you learn. You know, I'm learning, so the girls, I'm trying to push them to go this direction.
Right.
And the whole time, all I had to do was sit back and let them they will show me where they wanted to go and what they wanted to do.
Right.
Just as DeCarlos did. Baseball, we was all in. I mean, we spent money up on money, baseball. The wind shifted, now it's football. But it's still in that sports era. He
Right.
wanted to play everything. So, you know, he's finding his way through it, and my girls, they're finding their niches. Like my oldest girl, you know, she really didn't know school wasn't for everybody.
Right.
College is not for everybody.
That's
Right.
right.
My 2 girls, my oldest went for a while, she got out. My youngest went, she got out.
Right.
But you know, my oldest girl now finding her new love in children. As far as she's always been, she's the only one I know that'll go get somebody else's baby and it's like, oh, who baby was that? That was my friend baby. But you got them more than your friend got them.
Right.
She has that connection with kids, and then she found daycare, and so now she's trying to look, you know, more so now she might be going back to school, but it's gonna be in that she found out what she liked to do.
Right.
Middle girl still up in there, but we working on it.
Yeah, and I think too many times we chase money and we don't chase peace.
That's true.
You
That's
can have
true.
a whole lot of money but no peace at all.
Mm-hmm.
None at all.
If you
Yeah.
making the money and you know peace, you just might as well just. I mean, the money is it's just the money. It's no money helps you get around, but that peace of mind is a whole lot more than that
Exactly.
money at times.
Exactly. Millionaires, billionaires commit suicide every day.
Every day.
Every
They
day.
do.
Just speaking of things, since we on that topic, I feel like I was put here to teach. That's my thing, you know. So with me, I guess with the job that I work at allows me to kind of reach people, because we have new people come in and out every day, and like those who don't know God and stuff like that, like whenever they encounter me, I tell them, you know, when you look at me, you see God.
Right.
You know, so when I speak of God, I speak highly of God, and you know, I try to just inform them. So in a way, I'm walking in my purpose, but you know, with so much that goes on there, I just feel like that it's too stressful at times. Like you said, it's no peace
Right.
there. So I always kind of combat myself with that, like, you know, should I stay? How much longer will I be here? But while I'm here, I'm trying to make the best of it about walking in my purpose and stuff like that. So
Right. I get it.
yeah.
I really do get that because I have a heart for people. I like to help people. I don't like to see hurting people. If there's a need and I can meet it, I'm gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I am now trying to come up with a creative financial way
Mm-hmm.
to where I can do that.
Yeah. Right.
You know, to where I can do that. I was talking to a single mother. She has boys, and her son wanted to run track for the summer, and she used to say, "Oh, that that costs too much. Like we can't afford that." I said, "Oh no, ma'am.
Right.
No, ma'am.
There's a will, there's a way.
How much you need? We got it.
That's right.
Tell me he can run,
Yes,
and he
indeed.
got chosen to go to the Junior Olympics.
Okay.
Oh, for real?
His first time ever running track.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
So I would really like to help single women, not just single women, because
Mhm.
there's some single fathers
Yeah,
too.
They
there
are.
is.
There's some
Yeah.
single fathers, just single people. I just want to help them if it's something that your child want to do. Because sometimes, and I know what it's like to work, because I'm working now, but what you make is not enough.
Mhm.
But it's too much for you to get anything from the system. So you get penalized
That's right.
for really working. So I really want to come up with something or some type of fund
Mhm.
to sponsor children who want to play football, but their parents can't
Can't
afford
afford it.
That's
for
true.
them to play. So can we pay their fees?
Yes.
You know, or you are a scholar and you can go to Washington D.C., but you gotta have this amount of money to go.
Right.
How can we pay for them to go? You
Right.
know,
That's
I
true.
really, that's what my heart is. I don't want any child. You know, back in the day, you used to say no child left behind.
Mhm.
I don't want any child
Yeah, you
to
believe
feel
that,
like
huh?
yes,
Right.
no child left behind. I don't want you to have to not do what's in your heart to do
Mhm.
because your family can't afford it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ran into that same situation when I was in high school. Man, I loved basketball so much. Made the team, right?
Right.
Man, but my mom didn't have a car. And that walk from Harrisburg High over to Berry Street, that was the longest walk of my life. And I didn't want to make it do it too many times. Shout out to Miss Simmons, she's long gone. A guy named Jason Simmons' mom. She gave me a ride a couple of times, but it was way out her way. So
Right.
she told me, she's like, Adrian, I can't do this too many more times. But I had to quit the team, you know. And that was one of the biggest regrets, if any regret in my life that I had to do, you know. And then with my wife, with Coco, I see like the steps she took to get Jamarcus to where he is and stuff like that and stuff. So most definitely, man, if I can help any kind of way with single mothers, you know, and like you said, some fathers, but mothers most definitely, because I know it's a little harder, you know, on single mothers because y'all have a lot of strikes against y'all too as well.
Tell me about it. And this is all off topic. But I was with some friends of mine, and she was telling another friend of ours needed somebody to help him raise his children.
Mhm.
And I said, I'm offended by it. And she said, why? I said, nobody told me that I needed somebody to help me raise my boys.
Right.
I said, society will sit back and watch a black woman
Mhm.
struggle and raise her kids by herself.
Oh yeah.
And as soon as a man loses his spouse and he has children, they automatically say he needs somebody to help him raise his kids.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That is true.
So, yeah.
That's
very
true.
much true.
That is very true. You know, but yeah, I don't know too many men, but I know some men that have like their kids, and you know, most of them doing, you know, pretty decent, like I said. But if they have little girls, but that's kind of different.
You
You know?
even with little men who have little girls, who
Mhm.
have daughters, you've never been a woman.
Right.
So
And so
you
you don't
know-
know about all that womanly stuff that goes on.
Exactly,
You know?
exactly. So even to help out with that kind of situation,
Yeah.
I would want to do that as well.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Johnny H? Well, let me ask you, you know, me and you, we share a lot of things as far as, I want to say woke people, but everybody always talking about these fake woke people. But, like, you shared a lot of things with me that opened my eyes that I didn't know about, you know, like, for instance, like the sinking of the lakes. I mean, the lake sinking of the black cities and stuff like that. You know, so what are some of your takes on just how people are learning more now about their culture, you know, as far as black people, and being made more aware of these things, you know, other than what they was taught in school?
I'm glad, because I'm learning too.
Mhm.
There's a lot of things that I did not know. There's a lot of things that they did not teach us.
Right.
When I started learning about true American history when I took American history in college.
Mm.
And what I realized, I had to unlearn everything that they taught me in high school, and I was angry.
Mhm.
Wow.
I was really angry because you done taught me a lot. I done studied to make an A just to remember lies. You know? I was really upset about it, but I am really, really glad, especially for this generation.
Mhm.
Like my dad was really active in the civil rights movement. So when you turned 18, you had to go register to vote.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
When they got off work at 5 o'clock, everybody met at the house. You need to be here, so we all went to vote as a family.
Okay.
So that's what my parents did with us. So I am really excited for this generation because I can see that they are entrepreneurs. They don't want to work for
Right.
anybody else, and they are creating their own wealth to leave for generations to come.
Mhm.
So I just feel like it's like God is rebirthing, and that He's giving back everything that was taken
Mhm.
from us, but we gotta be ready
Yeah.
to receive it, and we gotta be wiser this time and not be so moved to, I'm gonna say this, we gotta learn to accept ourselves.
Mhm.
You know,
That's it.
God created me to be this way.
Mhm.
The way I'm shaped, people spend money now,
Yeah.
thousands of dollars
Right.
to get what I was ashamed of.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Because society made you think this.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's all
You
it
know,
was.
so we gotta learn to love and accept ourselves and know we don't have to fit in, or I don't have to give up who I am
Mhm.
just to be a part of the world. I just need you to understand my world and let me understand yours. And I think this is the generation that's doing it now.
Mhm. It
On
is.
both sides, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is. It is. What you said about relearn, yeah, we have to unlearn what we
Unlearn,
learned and then
exactly.
relearn what we learned. And you know, one of the things that made that possible is social media, which is kind of a gift and a curse
Right.
in a sense,
Right.
because you know, because they portray these things like the big debate. I don't know if you on rap or not with the baby, and then the other guy, Lil Nas X. So
Yeah, I
when
saw
kids
that.
have their phone and they see
I saw
stuff like that, like you know, it can be, if us as parents, if we don't double back and have conversations
Right.
with our kids, then they see that and they think that's okay,
Right.
and then they want to, you know, kids like to mimic,
Right.
you know,
Right.
and it's easy to manipulate a child.
Right.
So us as parents, if we don't teach them the real, like, hey, you know, that's not who you follow. You know,
Right.
it's pure entertainment.
Right.
You know, if you pay attention to that type of
Right.
stuff, that's pure entertainment. But find your own path. Be the
Exactly.
perfect you.
Right.
I talked to a guy not too long ago, and I told him, I said, I got a whole sermon right about when people say nobody's perfect. I say they use that as a scapegoat because, like what you just said, you're the perfect you who God made Bonita to be.
Exactly.
You know,
Mhm.
God used the word perfect in the Bible countless of times. He
Right.
called Moses perfect.
Right.
You know, he called Abraham perfect.
Right.
You know, and they did things. Moses killed people, not condoning violence or anything like
Right.
that. And Abraham lied
Well,
about his wife.
Right.
You know, not to have Bible study or nothing like that because
Well,
we
I
can get deep.
understand, yeah.
But you know, those were perfect people in God's eyes.
Right.
So you know, we have to stop using that as scapegoat for our sins.
Right.
Now, our sin is not perfect by no stretch of the imagination.
Right.
But you be the perfect you.
Right.
You know, whatever you're doing is righteous.
Right.
You know, none of that foolery. But if it's righteous, then you're being the perfect you, who
Right.
you're meant to be. Like Josh,
Exactly.
he's being the perfect him. He's put here. He had God bless him with a voice, and his voice is used to reach people.
Right.
You know, just
Right.
like I forgot his name already. My mind. But anyway, not Saul, Paul. When he, you know,
Right.
Paul was able to reach more people than
Right.
anybody.
Right.
You know,
Right.
because of who he was and stuff like that. So
Right.
yeah, that's
And you will
important.
too. This is a platform that God has given
Mhm.
you all to
Mhm.
reach people.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It
Absolutely.
is. It's a platform, and that's what God gave Joshua a platform.
That's it.
He gives out, even if it's on your job, that's
Mhm.
still a platform.
It is.
That's
Right.
an outlet. That's a way that God has given you to minister to people.
Mhm.
And a lot of people think ministry it only comes from a pulpit. That's
No,
not
that's not
That
true.
is not
That's
true.
another lie we've been told
Right.
just within the community.
exactly. That is not the truth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But like with my mom before she passed, and I'll wrap it up real quick. That's one thing. Is like I had went through a discipleship class, right? And man, my mom she used to go to. I'm wearing my shirt. My mom used to go to bingo a lot, right? That was her thing. That was her job. So when I was doing my discipleship class, she was proud to tell people like, "Oh, my son's going to be a preacher and stuff like that." Well, I didn't pursue the pulpit because it was never really. I never felt really comfortable with leading a congregation. Like I'm more of a, if you want to call it, any type of preaching, Sunday school teacher, you know, because I like to teach, you know. But as time went on, I realized you can't teach everybody. Some people get offended, so I got to the point where if you want to know, then you'll ask me, you know, or whatnot. So that's just, I know it's a little off topic, but
that's that walking in wisdom. Like
Yeah.
you know who to impart it to and who not to.
absolutely right. Yeah. Well, with you being a mother, can you blow?
Oh, we finna get a song?
Not. Yes, I can. I used to sing with a little band back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
What was the
I used
name
to
of
sing
it?
at the foursomes, which it was more than 4 people in the band, but this is like I was 20,
Mm-hmm.
21
Okay.
when I was singing with this band, but and of course singing in the church.
Yeah.
I used to sing in the church too, but yeah, I used to sing all the time. I'm the best karaoke singer now.
Oh yeah.
I don't know nobody the words, but I can read.
Okay.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we'll wrap it up. Is there something that you want to say to your sons? You know, because I'm sure they'll watch it. They, you know, they love their mama.
Yeah, that I love y'all, and I'm just really, really proud of the path that you guys have taken. Like I stated earlier on in the podcast, that you all may not be what I want you all to be, but you all are destined to be who God created you to be.
Absolutely.
So peace and blessings to you all, and prosperity to you always.
Oh yeah. Most definitely. Mm-hmm.
And that don't just mean money. Prosperity means health,
Oh yeah.
wisdom, and all of that.
Mm-hmm. All of the above.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed.
Is it time for my COVID rant?
Take it over, man.
Okay. COVID rant. Not really a rant, but hey, mask up. Because I'm figuring out this disease just ain't about me or you or you. It's much about us. We protecting each other, looking out after each other. So if you're unvaccinated, wear a mask to look out for the other person. And if you're vaccinated, hey, still wear your mask to look out. You never know. This thing's getting crazy. The numbers are going back up. We finna start all over. Look like start where we was at last year. So I mean, do whatever you got to do to stay safe out there.
Okay. All right. Well, on that note, we appreciate you, Bonita.
Well,
Thank you for coming.
Thank you all for having me.
Absolutely. Until next time, peace.